Nick feels uneasy after Chance comes to the ranch. Diane is laughing it up. Today on The Young and the Restless, Jack's invitation to a kiss has an effect on Diane, Chelsea calls Billy's bluff, and Chance makes a decision in the Ashland case. Jack and Diane, at the Abbott residence, pause to admire Harrison's sleepy cuteness. Jack gives her a nightcap as she prepares to leave. According to her, that sounds like the perfect way to cap off a wonderful evening. Diane, when drinking, recalls Jack as a young Kyle, a fact that he doesn't recall. She regrets not sharing their son with him before she departed Geno City. As far as Jack is concerned, they've dwelt long enough on their mutual anger. Diane values his more compassionate manner. It can be expected that Jack will not just ignore the problem. The question on his mind is whether or not she can forgive herself for the hurts of the past. Diane acknowledges that they used to keep her going, but that she is now living the life of her dreams. It's nearly inconceivable as the two of them sat there together. How about I ask you what you want, Jack? Billy is taken aback by Chelsea's observation at the rooftop bar that he and Victoria seem to bring out the best in each other. She saved him from himself quite a bit, but he didn't inspire the best in her. Chelsea wants to know what truly happened. Billy claims there is no definitive response to that question, but that Victoria was never at fault. However hard she tried, he always managed to wander off course. According to Chelsea, Billy has grown up and become much more responsible. It makes him laugh. In addition to the widespread idea that people fondly remember their youth, Billy also believes that many people mistakenly attribute his mischievous tendencies to his basic nature. His mom is worried that listening to the podcast would lead him back to bad habits. As far as Chelsea is concerned, Lily's viewpoint is the only one that counts. Billy takes her by surprise by telling her they had a talk, and she seemed to want him to stop the podcast. Victoria informs her parents at the ranch that Chance is deeply torn. He didn't say much, but the weight he appears to be toting around suggests otherwise. V heaves a sigh. No matter what happens, we'll handle it, he said. He was only trying to defend his loved ones that night. Thus, he does not feel any remorse for what he did. According to Victor, Chance's claims aren't backed up by the facts. If he runs into any more brick walls, when Nikki learns that Johnny's mother wants him to know that she is his biological mother and that Connor has a sibling, she is shocked. Victoria claims that Johnny is aware that she is not his actual mother, but that she does not plan to reveal the identity of Johnny's biological father at this time. Nikki considers how destructive it could be to keep the youngster in the dark about Chelsea's transformation and concludes that she must tell him. To Victor's mind, Victoria has no obligation to share any information with him. The mother figure has been identified as you. While sipping his coffee at Crimson Lights, Chance recalls his conversations with Nick, Victoria, and Victor from the prior several days. He reaches for his cell phone and places a call to Kevin. As for the Ashland lock situation, my opinion is made up. Nick enters the room just as he says this, and he continues, I finally know what I have to do. Moments after hanging up, Chance informs Nick that there have been changes in the case and that he would like to meet with Nick, Victoria, and their father in the morning to discuss next steps. Nick suggests that he go deal with it right away. The heads nod randomly. It's ranch time. While sipping his coffee at Crimson Lights, Chance recalls his conversations with Nick, Victoria, and Victor from the prior several days. He reaches for his cell phone and places a call to Kevin. As for the Ashland lock situation, my opinion is made up. Nick enters the room just as he says this, and he continues, I finally know what I have to do. Moments after hanging up, Chance informs Nick that there have been changes in the case and that he would like to meet with Nick, Victoria, and their father in the morning to discuss next steps. Nick suggests that he go deal with it right away. The heads nod randomly. It's ranch time. Chance tells him he shouldn't talk further until he has a lawyer present. In an effort to remind Chance that he is, in fact, a family member, Victor queries his memory. Chance stresses once again that they should just listen and not try to engage in discussion. There are two possible outcomes. both of which include a combative Locke visiting Victoria's and receiving a punch from Nick. Initially, he gets up and staggers to his car, then drives off and crashes into the ravine. In the second, Nick is exonerated of any wrongdoing in the death when the body is secretly removed by Victor's men without Victoria and Nick's knowledge. Several pieces of evidence point in this direction. Victor mutters that the evidence is weak. Chance thinks the truth about what Nick can't stand is actually a lie. As Victor's son-in-law, you should know that he is curious about your plans. Chance is convinced that nobody intended for Locke to die. After all, Nick was only trying to protect his sister. She says she realized it a long time ago. She knows him better than he thinks she does. Even Billy will concede that. Chelsea thinks he'd be happy away from the C-suite and in the podcast booth, and speculates that he's hoping Lily will issue an ultimatum to get him out of the C-suite. Diane, at the Abbott residence, tells Jack that she just wants health and happiness, but he was expecting she'd get more introspective. Diane is curious as to the point of his questioning. He stops her from reaching for her drink, holds her hand, and then asks, "Where do you think this is going?" As he explains, "Us. I'm with you on this. What do you expect to come of this precarious friendship?" Diane is impressed by how serious he seems to be tonight. As things are, Jack is left wondering who still has time for anything. Diane admits she has more than platonic feelings for him. Feelings of excitement and fear coexist in this situation. When asked if he knew he was intimidating, Jack jokes, "I didn't realize I was that scary." Diane's heart has been closed off for so long, and now it's starting to open up. Yet, she anticipates suffering in the future. That you will never feel the same way about me is something I am well aware of. After much denial, Jack finally admits that he too is emotional. They draw nearer and kiss passionately. Suddenly, she hears Jack's voice calling her name. Diane awakens. She realizes that her dream of a kiss was just that. Diane, shaken, claims to Jack that the alcohol went right to her head. Since she obviously cannot continue to make the club her permanent residence, he inquires once more about her future plans. As in, what's next for Diane Jenkins? As of yet, Diane has not given much thought to her living situation. Too much focus on the future can stifle creativity and innovation in the present. Nick reveals to his ranch family that he is giving up and heading back home. Chance fills them in on the information he has gathered so far, which includes a photograph of the man seen entering the vehicle. This man looks like one of Victor's security guards and smokes. He adds that they also have Locke's ring and cigarette butt, both of which likely dropped out of his pocket as he was being dragged or carried out of the house. Now they have a bloody fingerprint on the automobile. Ashlyn believes it will match the one left by Victor's security guy. There's no way it'd hold up in court, according to Victor. Chelsea, at the rooftop bar, agrees with Billy that the podcast would be a good fit for him because he isn't a business type. For a while now, Billy has been considering the possibility that Lily is right and that he should resign from his position as COO. Assuming we include Chelsea, we agree. Podcast, The True Billy is named Billy. True Billy is represented by the grinning soul. He says that is not the case. That's not who I am. Consider the full story. Locke had subjected their family to unimaginable suffering. In light of the foregoing, it is fitting that a vile human being has met his end. This is sad, to be sure, but it's probably not illegal. It is not necessary, in his opinion, for anyone to face prosecution for his death. The first scenario is the one he'll give to the world as his official take on things. As Billy and Chelsea leave the rooftop bar, Chelsea turns to Billy and inquires whether Victoria stated she paid her a visit. Billy warns Chelsea that the timing isn't right. As Chelsea sees it, Connor will grow resentful if she doesn't come clean to him soon. Finding out he has a brother might also help Johnny cope with the loss of Ashland. She hopes that Billy can assist her in winning over Victoria. The Newmans are grateful for their property. When Victor talked to him about protecting his loved ones, it gave Chance pause. Here tonight, he thinks they finally found justice, although in a roundabout fashion. Victor says that Abby will be very proud of Chance because he did the right thing. Nick extends a handshake, and Victoria offers to show him out the door. They are walking down the hall when she says, "I know this wasn't easy for you, Chance. To what extent can we help?" That's when Luck steps in and interrupts her. He didn't do anything for that reason. He wishes her peace and quiet for her sake. Diane informs Jack that she has to leave the Abbott residence. She can take his offer of a ride home, or he can call her a cab. The woman says with a grin, "I'm ok. I appreciate your concern." Billy tells Chelsea at the rooftop bar that Victoria wants some space. Although he cannot assure her of anything, he will contact her. Nick, back at the ranch, is concerned that they have betrayed Genoa City's most upright citizen. Victor thinks Chance didn't have a good case and was trying to avoid defeat. Nick insists it has no bearing on the events of that night. In this context, Nikki tells him that he also saved his sister that night. After saying goodbye to Victoria with a hug, Nick leaves. She prays he will be all right. Nikki is aware that even so, he will continue to berate himself. After assuring them of their backing, Victor moves on. Chance is currently stewing at the bar in society while swilling a drink.